up, a Cinema Shogun here, and look, please allow me to just go on a rant really quickly because I gotta get this off my chest. I promise I will keep it as short as possible. Now, the other night I made a video about this F-35 fighter jet that went missing over South Carolina. If you guys don't know about this story, you should definitely look into it because it's one of the weirdest news stories that I've seen in recent history. The military literally started asking for the public's assistance in locating this missing fighter jet. Now, apparently the fighter jet, bailed on the plane, ejected, he's okay, and no one knew where the fighter jet was. Now, here's why that is really scary. We're led to believe that we have the most dominant military in the history of the world. Meanwhile, our military is literally asking the people of, they were literally asking the people of South Carolina to go out and help them find their missing fighter jet. Now, isn't it crazy that in the year 2023, somehow, some way, our military could not track its own fighter jet? I don't care what the story is. I don't care if the fighter jet crashed here, or it crashed there, or it flew here or there. We should be able to track this aircraft. Now, really think about it. If we're not able to track our own aircraft, then what makes you think that we can track enemy aircraft? So either we are totally incompetent and our military is not as great as we think, or they're lying to us about this story somehow, some way. One thing I do know is that the F-35, there were warnings out there. I remember seeing reports about it years ago. I'll have to do more research. But right off the top of my head, if my memory serves me correctly, there were warnings that this plane could get hacked. Now, I don't know what happened with this plane. I don't know why the pilot ejected. I mean, we know what the pilot is saying, though. And it's honestly kind of funny. The pilot is claiming that they ejected because of bad weather. Bad weather. They're blaming bad weather. Meanwhile, the pilot had another plane flying alongside of them. They didn't eject. They landed and flew just fine. But here's another thing that's weird. If this pilot was flying alongside another pilot, why didn't that pilot follow the plane once his, friend ejected? You follow the plane, figure out where it went. So you don't have to ask the general public to help you find a military aircraft. But no, apparently they didn't do that. So nothing about this story makes sense. But now we know that the pilot has been discharged, which is a good move. But the claim is that it was bad weather. Bad weather, so they just ejected from a $80 million fighter jet and just allowed it to fly on autopilot by itself before it ultimately crashed somewhere, which could have been into one of our houses. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to think about this overall situation, but I mean, it's hard to think that we're being told the truth. But this is one of those weird situations where, if you really think about it, the truth is even scarier than whatever scenario you could probably think of. Because if the truth is that y'all can't track your own aircraft and you're capable of losing your own $80 million fighter jets, how can we feel confident that you all are going to be able to track military aircraft if you can't even find your own aircraft? Now, the other possibility, like I said, is that this has nothing to do with weather. I don't think the weather was great in the area at that time. I do believe there were some storms. But I'm wondering if this plane was hacked. What really happened here? You know, I think that's the question that everyone wants answered. But like I said, there's no desirable answer. You know, in this type of situation, it kind of might even be better that something weird possibly happened, that this plane may have been hacked or something along those lines, because if we're really this incompetent, or if our military leaders are really this incompetent and our pilots are doing stupid things like, flying fighter jets over people's heads and ejecting because you're scared of a little thunder, and you just allow your fighter jet to fly off into the sky, into the sunset. Really think about that. Here in America, a lot of people live next to Air Force bases. I lived next to an Air Force base growing up. We constantly had fighter jets, helicopters, all types of stuff flying over our heads. And I always wondered, what's stopping one of these things from crashing into our neighborhood? Well, obviously now in 2023, with the type of people they have in the military these days, there's no telling what may happen. But that's the story that we have right now. Is it the true story? I don't know. But if it is the true story, it's just as terrifying as whatever other explanation people could come up with. Let me know your thoughts, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.